Greetings, community, and welcome to Entropy and Comedy. I appreciate those of you that tune on in on the rewind. Without you, it'd only be half as much fun as it truly is. But those of you that cruise in on live, take a moment, say hi. Hey, Agu, how you do? Hope all is well with you. Hope all things is going well this evening for you and those of that you care for. Hey, I just want to make a quick announcement. And that announcement is this. Hey, Jack. Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you being here. The announcement is this. I need to sell a bunch of books. Got to get a bunch of books because I need a bunch of room. I can even put away any of those books down there, which is like nearly 400 books, 4 months worth of stuff, and all that you see up there. I can't put anything away. I have no room, literally. I'm not going to damage books by trying to cram things in there. So what does that mean? Either I sell books or I take a bunch of books back to the shop. So what I end up doing is hopefully in the next day or two, I'm just going to grab a box, just empty a bunch of stuff out, sit them to the side on a live and say, hey, anybody interested? If not, throw them in this box, taking it back to the shop. That's hopefully what I'll end up be doing in the next day or two, or maybe 2 days in consecutive. Who knows? I'm at this point only limited to two boxes at the shop, Jamie. I think I can get another box from the garage. Yeah, so I'm looking to get rid of a bunch of boxes, books, and hey, stay tuned. Just saying. Hey, let's jump on into and start off with DC. DC is going to give to us, starting it off this week on 6/10/2026. Absolute Catwoman, issue number one. She made her debut in the Absolute Batman series, and wow, did she do a great job. She not only did a great job in her debut, but I think, in my opinion, kind of captivated a lot of people in her own right, in her own way. Much as Catwoman has always made her impression throughout the DC universe, and this one, it's quite different, in my opinion. I'm loving the Sosa Micah cover. Had to get it. And there you have it. Hey, Kyle, how you do? Hope all is well with you. Dude, appreciate you coming on in here, Lyle. Thanks, man. Hey, Ian. It's new. Appreciate you cruising on in. As I made mention, I will be getting rid of some books pretty soon, but if you're interested, cruise on in the next day or two. Check out what I got. So, Absolute Catwoman issue number one is starting her own series into the Absolute universe. She not only made a great debut, but one in which that I believe that she's going to really solidify herself in the Absolute universe a little bit different than the way she did in the regular DC universe. I am looking forward to seeing how she does that and how she plays her part in this Absolute universe, along with all the new first appearances that are coming about with copycats and all this other stuff. This looks pretty interesting. Not only that, but it's just innovative, and I can't wait to see how this turns out to be. Moving on from Absolute Catwoman issue number one, let's check out The Nice House by the Sea, issue number 10. This is really a second volume of The Nice House by the Lake. And what I've really been enjoying about the series is it not only is telling a tale that we're getting of this series, in the sense of what we're getting is not only, if you want to envision everyone as their own island unto themselves within Earth, and they believe that they're the last ones on Earth, they're all these individual islands of individuals that believe that they're the last groups of Earth. And now they've been invading one another. It's turning out to an all-out melee of just no holds barred. Also, what we're getting is, as this second volume is, we're getting a better understanding of what was transpiring in the first volume and what the true motivations were, or the lack thereof. We're getting a further explanation in this series. It tells a lot, not only in this series, The Nice House by the Sea, but also further explaining what was transpiring in the first series, The Nice House by the Lake. I really have been digging this series, and it's been interesting so far. I am curious how he's going to land this, because Tynion, my opinion, just starts marvelously. Not always does he land, stick that landing and without any bobble. So I'm looking forward to not only, as it seems, this ending coming into a conclusion in which that it would satisfy me, but I'm looking forward for something to just give it a little bit of twist and something that would just nail that ending. Moving out from DC, and let's cruise over to Dynamite Studios. Yeah. Just I further setting up. Oh no, I didn't even do that. I am actually good, people. Duh. I didn't realize. Sorry. Built the whole show and didn't realize I did. All right. So on Dynamite, what they're going to end up giving us. Let's go ahead and remove that. Sorry. I'm with you. I swear. Is Space Ghost, issue number 12. I spoke to David Pethos a couple of years ago when About Space Ghost was into issue number 5, and he ended up telling me at that point that the success of Space Ghost was such, and was that they ended up signing him. I think it was at that time for the rest of that series, and tentatively the annual that was following. So it was the introduction, 12 series, an annual, and then I spoke to him another year later, and he ended up telling me that he got signed on for another year plus the annual. What does that mean? This is the end of said second volume, and all we're going to receive next month, my understanding is it's just an annual. I've yet to talk to David. I would like to see this continue. I know that he's, between wife and things going on personally, he's been absolutely busy, along with doing everything he's been doing with the books, Speed Racer, um, Space Ghost. I'm trying to remember the other one that he was doing. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to not only seeing him, but yes, getting back to the book itself, reading Space Ghost, and it just thoroughly. It almost was my most anticipated. I'm lacking on being able to read some, so I haven't been able to catch up. What I do thoroughly enjoy about the story is those of you that do recall Space Ghost, the cool thing about it is they gave it a true background history that is way deep than anything that was ever even considered before, which Space Ghost never really had a real true history and a background or, an understanding of his motivations behind what he was doing. He was a man that essentially lost his family and just yearning and try to do the right thing. And the living in the shadows of said tragedy. And here comes along this son or these two kids that had just lost their family and also trying to find their way in a galaxy that just seems like it's just nothing but chaos. So the two definitely needed, meaning the kids and Space Ghost, one another, because the partnership was not only that they needed one another in a parental and paternal and fraternal and paternal and kid raising type of environment, but more than that, they ended up becoming a team. So they were not only a team with their family, not only family but a team. They ended up becoming more than anyone and an augmentation of both. And it was something that just gave a substance to the story that it went unlike anything that it was ever told in a Space Ghost story before. Truly enjoy what David Peppo's done, and I'm looking forward to reading issue number 12. Let's move out from Dynamite and cruise over to Marvel Studios. Cool. Marvel's going to first start off with Black Cat, issue number 11. I've been digging this series. I love Black Cat. I really been digging everything that they've been doing in the past 5 years. McKay's been killing it. Everyone that's been taking the mantle, which is only two other writers in the interim, and I've really been enjoying the series. Now that we got MJ involved and now the Punisher, all I can say is this: I'm waiting for a little Black Cat punishment. Let's move on from Black Cat issue number 11 and cruise over to Immortal Thor issue number 11. What I've really been digging with this Al Ewing story is he has been giving such a hardcore version of Thor, unlike anything that I've been seeing before personally. As a kid, you're always impacted one way and you always think of it. But as an adult, things kind of hit you a little different. I really have been digging this, and since the immortal Thor turned mortal. And then, you know, if you're not having already caught up, no spoilers here, he died and came back as a mortal individual. We got Al Ewing taking the riding helm, and what we're getting is tragedy and a defense on in a way that I've not seen Thor had to deal with before. He's more brutal and just things are more visceral than I ever recall Thor being. And things are finite, meaning if he dies, he's done. So it's pretty kind of trippy. And yeah, you know, I would have to say his brother's been no help. Loki's just been an effort the whole time. And what Loki's been doing all throughout 2025 to set up 2026 has just been nothing but heinous. Heinous? Yeah, hyenas. And I just can't understand what the motivation is behind Loki this whole time. Because it's not just been happening to Thor, he's been impacting other aspects throughout the Marvel thing and just peppering it with, yeah, with Loki. It's been cool, it's been evil, it's been all wrapped into one. I'm digging what Al Ewing is doing, and I can't wait to get into the Mortal Thor issue number 11. Let's cruise out from Mortal Thor and cruise over to from the Marvel side and over to the Image side. I'm having problems already. All right, here we go. Let's start off with Image Studios. It's going to give us Dork number 5. If we recall, Dork number 1 was my Blue Light Special. Dork number 2, I believe, was my Blue Light Special. Dork number 3, I believe, was my Blue Light Special. It just missed this time, however, because I haven't read 4. And that's pretty much it. What I've really been enjoying about this story is it is in my opinion, a different version of what I've been enjoying about Barbaric. The two just kind of ride parallel lines, and they have parallel moralities and ethics and what's that they have to contend and deal with. This is just more of a cartoony side. If you're not familiar, Dork is a story of this half dwarf, half orc living on the precipice of two sides and always in a contentious battle. And all he wants to do is just find his own personal way without either side trying to kill him. We're getting some interesting touches on society, politics, just so much that's wrapped around in this. And I really like how the approach is to the story. And I really like the tongue-in-cheek aspect to how it delivers its message. Dork number 5 coming out on 6/10/2026. For me, it's definitely a must read. And for you, if you haven't been reading Dork, I highly recommend picking up the trade. It's a wonderful story. It as a lot of people are noticing, it was more than the surface in which initially was the book was being sold for, which it was just one of those FOMO things. And now I believe people will realize it's so much more. Moving on from Dork number 5, let's cruise over to Mask, issue number 1. I believe I bought like 3, maybe 4 of those blind bag things. The cool thing about the blind bags is they're not only doing the regular blind bag things, meaning the variants and stuff, which, listen, if you're watching this, I have strong opinions about anybody receiving a cover A and a blind bag. I watched Ravi over at Pop Culture, and he's not the first one that I have seen because I've also pulled out, I think, 2 cover A's from blind bags. And it's one of the most frustrating things to do because no cover A should ever be in a blind bag. Just saying. So I believe I got a few of those blind bags. They will end up also getting a special little tucked away, not only just like sketches and stuff like that, but a variant. I mean, not even a variant, but a totally different book that wasn't really announced in there. And it gives you origin stories to some of the stuff. So I highly recommend look for that if you're going to go ahead and make considerations of buying the blind bag. There's more to those blind bags than just receiving maybe a 1 in 10,000 or 20,000 sketch or 50,000 in sketch. You know, I believe these numbers are considerably a lot lower, so you would have a decent chance of pulling one of these origin books. Mask issue number 1 coming out 6/10/2006. Massive Energon Universe contribution. Let's move out from that and let's cruise over and talk about Tigress Island issue number 4. Yeah, here's another one I think like caught a lot of people off guard. This is one that when I was first reading, the thing that really caught me off guard was how well it was written as far as the individual personalities of the characters that I was reading. You had this definitive distinction of personalities of individuals that were speaking, and their dialogue was so unique unto themselves that it was really like being immersed inside of a place in which that this was all transpiring. It really seemed like all these different individuals, these characters were there. It's a little too frequent that you end up reading from individuals, and I this is the first time I've ever made mention of this, that you'll get from a writer's perspective, it seemed like all the same dialogue, all the same um, cadence between the dialogue and the delivery, and just it doesn't seem like any character shows any distinction from another. It just seems like a person was writing and just put different names on dialogue individuals, just given this. So that's what it really took me back by Tiger's Island was not just the story, but how well it was written by these, giving these characters definitive personalities to where now I really could differentiate in individuals that were playing a part in the storyline, which is the only reason why I've been picking it up. Just enjoying how well it's been written. Tiger's Island is basically a story of a bunch of girls that end up in the wrong place because they've done the wrong thing, and not that they were really that bad of people. It's just that the wrong people decided to take full advantage. Tiger's Island, issue number 4, coming out on 6/10/2026. Let's move on from that and talk about Transformers, issue number 33. The core of the Energon universe. All these things are now crossing over. Mask is a great example of how now we're just bringing in new titles that are definitive and crossover and showing how all these things, the storylines, are independent upon one another. Transformers is now really showing how, because they'll tell tales and aspects of Cybertron, or you'll very soon start seeing aspects of Void Rivals when it's going to play its part. And we're already seeing direct connection as we have an earlier writ tales and the earlier stories of the Transformers going way back in the first, what? I think first volume or end of the first volume. Oh, we've been seeing some of these early crossovers. What I'm getting at, they're all interdependent upon one story now. It's all this big ball of wax. I'm loving it. I'm a little behind. I think I'm on issue number 29. But I'm looking forward to jumping into issue number 33. I'm just saying, Transformers is one of those stories that I was never reading in the past, but it was never this good. Never saturated in such rich storylines that are all really telling a tale beyond just the surface of just one robot trying to beat up another. It's considerably more, and I really been digging where it's going. Transformers issue number 33 coming out to you and me tomorrow for 6/10/2026. Let's move on from that and talk about Young Blood issue number 100. Congratulations, Rob Liefeld. You made it to 100. When I spoke to you, remember you were saying that that was a big goal. Individuals that you knew were pushing you to hit 100. And now I'm just curious, where are you going to go from here? I mean, are you really looking forward to like a 150 or something? I don't know. I'm looking forward to jumping my hands in this because so many contributors jumped in this themselves. I did get both versions. I think there's only two versions of the Todd McFarlane that worked with Rob Liefeld. And the storyline as itself, well, if you remember Days of Yore of all the Image books and Youngblood coming out, then things really haven't changed much other than the storyline hasn't really changed that much. The art, it really hasn't. Other than it's another 30 some odd years later. Youngblood, yeah. Congratulations, Rob, hitting 100. 9 years old, but 100 issues. Just saying. But hey, this week's Blue Light Special from Image Comics. Hey, it's not doing its thing. Let's try it again. We'll do it. There we go. K-M.A.R.T. K-M.A.R.T. There we go. This year, I was supposed to do the whole light thing. Man, I'm getting bad at this. This week's Blue Light Special is M1 Monsters Racers Racing League issue number 1. Um, what really took me back and really caught my eye about this thing when I was looking at it about 4 months ago is it reminded me of the Wacky Racers, but a monstered version. And being that Jay Lee was doing the art on this thing, also caught my eye. Saw that it looks like to me a husband and wife working on this thing. I have not looked them up, but everything about it just fascinated me. I love racing. I love cars. Like I said, it reminded me of days of yore, the Wacky Racers. And I believe it's going to be at least a 6-issue series. And if it continues, I would like to see this thing go on for 12 issues and then see what happens after. A monster version, true monster version of something that's akin to Speed Racer meets, like I said, Wacky Racers, but in a monster version. Yeah, that's definitely me. There's a 1 in 25 that I couldn't find that I'm looking for. Hopefully, I'll get it tomorrow. That looks just sick. I'm hoping to get it. They sold out at the shop I went to. And I'm looking forward to jumping into that. Right after this, I'm probably going to end up jumping into that, even though I haven't jumped into anything else. And then, yeah, see where we go from there. For those of you that cruise on through, thank you so much. Lyle, thank you. Agu, appreciate you. Jag, and Ian. And as I made mention before, hey, hopefully the next day or two, I'm going to be selling a bunch of books really cheap. Rather throw them at you guys. There's a bunch of signatures in around too, than taking them right back to the shop. I'm just saying. So, hey, thanks to all of you that cruise on through. And that's it for me. Entropy. You guys stay well.